Hello, JPM here, and I thought I would just make a little video for Russian Deadpool, the Skeptic Feminist, and maybe anyone else that's interested in listening. This morning I watched a video from Russian Deadpool where he talks about his depression. And quite frankly, I can understand where he comes from because I sometimes suffer from depression myself. And yes, I have to admit that sometimes I do take medication. I do take medication for it. So I'm just offering some perspectives. I mean, depression is a very difficult thing. It plays tricks with your mind. It's kind of hard to explain, and I know I'm pausing a lot, but just try to bear with me. I mean, sometimes depression is like you may win $1 million, you might get that nice three-piece suit you had ordered some weeks back, and you'd still feel like shit. In depression, your mind fucks with you like that. And it's not always easy. Sometimes just about anything can trigger you. A song, a bad movie, or anything else, even a remark I might say innocently enough. Anyway, it's a mental illness. And I know that things like back injuries really don't help matters. I mean, goodness knows, I had a multiple fracture on my shoulder, and my mom and my sister had to babysit me for quite a few weeks. And that was kind of depressing. Well, I mean, I have a good family, but, it can be difficult. Here I am, college educated, and I had to sign my name with an X. Don't tell my dad that, okay? But anyway. Here's my perspectives, and I know that I'm rambling. Just try to bear with me, okay? Anyway, gotta have my cigarette. One of the few vices I have left in life. Anyway, depression can be pretty nasty. It comes and goes. Here's some coping advice. Sometimes you need to distract your mind from things, whether it be reading, watching movies, or working on your computer like I do, or anything else, The key is it's gotta be something you enjoy. I don't know what you're into. I can tell you what I'm into. I do my programming just as a hobby. And what I do is I try to pace myself with it all. I'm involved. I only volunteer with open source projects. So when I do that type of volunteer stuff, it keeps my mind going, and plus it allows me to pace myself. I mean, sometimes that big fix for some code or some idea doesn't have to be done tomorrow. It can be done the next day, the day after, or whenever the hell you figure it out. That's one of the ways I cope. There are some others. I sometimes find distraction helpful, whether it be reading about some programming things, watching videos on YouTube, watching some TV shows on YouTube, or who knows what else. Distraction really does help take the edge off of depression. Sometimes it helps the talk and sometimes it doesn't. Different people are different in that regard. And sometimes in life, there are things that help you, like looking forward to some big item purchase that you bought at, say, Amazon or that upcoming trip to wherever. It's not just about today, it's about tomorrow. What you have to look forward to. That sometimes gets you through the day. And it can be a little thing. I know that the holidays can be tough, but you get through it, and it does help to remember that maybe you have seen worse holidays. I mean, I had depression really bad, some messed up relationship with a woman, and I still remember that holiday. And when you compare that in the grand scheme of things, where you wake up Christmas morning and it's just an ordinary day, I mean, it makes that day feel extraordinary. I'm just doing this stuff off the top of my head. But anyway, I wouldn't be wasting my time making a video if I thought you were a complete asshole. Yeah, sure, we disagree on a whole lot of things, including me calling myself an anti-feminist. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I just say what I do because, life is just too short for a lot of shit. You gotta enjoy this one life you have. And believe me, it is short. I was friendly with a couple of women who died this year. And one I had to go to her funeral. And that does affect you. It changes you. But the point I'm making is you have to enjoy your life. Whether it be doing your best to make things a bit better, although far from idealistic, or doing something that makes you happy. Whatever it may be. And it's all right to question yourself, your priorities, who you are as a person. I mean, goodness knows, I don't know a daggone thing about all these fancy self-defense techniques and whatnot. So, I mean, you got a good thing going for you. Much more than a lot of people would have. And me, the thing is, it's not a matter of comparing yourself and saying, I'm better than everyone else. But sometimes it helps to look at what other people and realize that there are far worse situations. I mean, let's face it, depression really does fuck with your mind. Life is just too cheap, you know? Sorry for the dog noise. It's my neighbor's dog. One of the joys of living on the flat. Oh well. But anyway, if it helps, I think about what you're going through. And I realize, that there are some things I am looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the holidays, to doing some more computer programming things. I'm looking forward to that 3-piece suit I ordered from a place called iTailor. It's going to be spectacular. Black vest, black 2-on-6, 6-on-2 double-breasted jacket, pants, which I'm going to sew suspender buttons into. That'll look pretty swell. And of course, I always got my cowboy hats, my fancy bow ties, and my neckties, and I've got good friends. I volunteer at a place in my community, and I'm hoping that some of that work might pick up. It's some technical things that a lot of people don't have the know-how to do. Plus, there's always bound to be something, and it helps to remember that even if in your darkest days, that sometimes things are better. And maybe sometimes some things aren't as bad as they seem. It might not always be obvious to you. And goodness knows this political climate has been pretty depressing. But, when it comes down the line, you're just going to be doing what you're doing. You're going to be alive. You're probably going to be making more YouTube videos about all sorts of misogyny and all this other stuff, atheism and whatnot. And of course, we're probably never going to see eye to eye, which is all right, you know? But anyway, the key points I want to make are these. Life is just too short for a lot of shit. You have got to make yourself happy. You have got to take care of yourself. You have got to pace yourself out a little bit. You know, maybe you don't have to do something today or right now. Maybe it can wait. You've got to set priorities in your life. You've got to have things you look forward to. Things you enjoy. And you've got to remember that sometimes things are not always as bad as they seem. So anyway, those are a few of the key points, and goodness knows, life is not always easy. And you've got to keep your mind active. That's another good point I like to make, whether it be reading, your hobbies, and if you don't have a hobby, then consider getting a hobby, whether it be stamps, programming, whatever you enjoy. And yes, it does help to question things. Make comparisons. But anyway, I know I've rambled on long enough. But anyway, my hat is off to you. And just take care of yourself. Okay?